In this episode, we are talking about Tonya plus. That's a good start. Plus all the latest film news. Stick around. Welcome back to another episode of Tripod Talk, where we talk anything and everything about films. My name's Matt Lidster. I am your host. I am joined today by my wonderful co-host, as always, Sophie Ellis and Mr. Adil Anwar.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hiya.
Oh, no, how you doing? It's fine. Are you ready to talk about films and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that the new intro?
That's the new intro.
Oh, it's very polished.
Thank you.
Nice.
Miss Sophie Ellis, in the middle of a yawn, would you like to start us off with some film news, please?
Yes. The very
Start us off with some film news, please.
the very quick fire headlines.
Headlines.
And mainly Marvel. So, Black Panther co-writer says douchey and disrespectful to women Tony Stark might not sit well today.
Oh.
And it's just to come out about the Me Too movement and feminism.
I suppose when you think back to the first Iron Man, like, do you remember like the first 15 minutes of it, where like he gets off with the journalist and all that kind of stuff, and he's just a bit. I can see where he might be coming from the first Iron Man. Yeah. They've definitely pulled him back with the whole like mentor Stark thing they're doing. But yeah, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah. Speaking of Black Panther, it crosses $1 billion at global box office.
Oh, wow.
And
good. I'm glad it did.
Yep.
It says A Wrinkle in Time, you know the film that you said you jump out of a window. Oh, Push Me Out of a Window if I made you watch.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
That tops Black Panther at Friday box office.
Oh, all right.
I've heard stuff about like people kickstartering to buy out cinemas to take underprivileged kids to watch that film and stuff. So maybe there's like more to it than I think.
Yeah.
But just from looking at it, it just looked like...
You were so unimpressed by the trailer.
Oh, God.
Is this A Wrinkle in Time, or is this Black Panther?
A Wrinkle in Time now.
Yeah.
I won't be saying this about Black Panther, yeah. It just looks massively, like, kind of boring to me. But it seems to be hitting a spot with people, so fair enough. Yeah. Looks like kind of like a nice-ish movie. Nice enough-ish.
Luke Cage Season 2 trailer reveals the release date. Thank you for that.
Sorry, there you go.
And it'll arrive on the 22nd of June.
Okay.
June. You weren't that keen on Luke Cage, were
No. The only reason why I kind of like it is because Iron Fist was much worse.
Hey, come on. Well, Iron Fist will be in
it,
with
doing
Luke
the
Cage.
whole Heroes for Hire thing, which will be fun.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Moving quickly on to DC, Kristen Wiig has been confirmed as Wonder Woman 2 villain by Patty Jenkins as playing Cheetah.
Oh, it's a villain.
We're going head to head.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think she could be good.
Aye.
I'm on board for that.
Let's see how Aquaman goes first. So.
Oh, yeah. That's the end of this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yay.
Uh,
John Williams to quit scoring Star Wars films.
No.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a devastation for you.
No. Why? Give me a reason, please.
You might not want to.
No. At least finish the trilogy.
That's true.
You know what I mean? He's only got an extra year. He's been
was
going
the best part of the...
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited to see a Star Wars film without one.
Yeah, they might be like they're going in a different direction with it, and they're doing a bit more like of a modern thing or something that wouldn't really fit with like a traditional score. So maybe it's something like that. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt, or I will. You probably will.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
New reports confirm a May filming start for Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. So there's a sequel film in multiple European countries.
Oh.
It's going to be called Spider-Man: Homecoming 2, and then another subtitle for the actual film. Because that seems a bit much. Or is it just because Homecoming 2 is a bit meh?
I know, yeah. I'd rather it be called Spider-Man something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not Spider-Man Homecoming 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping like that's just what the press
attacks
is. Yeah.
something like that. I don't know. It's a comic book thing. It's not
true. Yeah, I'm hoping that's just like a press thing until we get like an official title.
That'd be good, to be fair, yeah.
It does say that it arrives 2 months after Avengers 4 in 2019, which will be in July.
The first film of Phase 4. Which I'm looking forward to.
They seem to be coming out a lot sooner, don't they? Like after each other. They're just pelting us with them at this point.
They are. They're just like, we need to get more content out.
Yeah, I'm very unsure because I know that Guardians 3 will be coming around that time, and I wasn't too keen on Guardians 2, so I'm not sure how that
Yeah, no, was I. See, I remember I predicted, like, the superhero thing would start to fall off by kind of around that time. I'm curious to see how those films are going to do, because I reckon that's a big part of it. Like, if they're huge, then we're going to be watching superhero films for the rest of our lives, apparently.
Yeah.
But maybe if those aren't getting the kind of draw that they think, which I think there's a chance of, I reckon we might kind of end up another type of film becoming the big thing in cinema.
It should do, yeah, because they've always had big cycles and stuff. It used to be the Western in, like, the 50s and, well, just before that. And then it started going into, like, the more action drama stuff. So this is just the next... I reckon it'll last for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Because we've kind of built it up for the last 10 years now.
Yeah,
I reckon it's got its audience.
Oh,
If you
not
get
far.
like it's not,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always like even Black Panther
people aren't
just come
gonna
out
stop
now.
going.
That's just earned $1 billion. It's not slowing down by any means.
No, that's true.
But I think that's because it was such a new...
I know, but
They've also been good films as well. Like, maybe if they have a big, like, they really, the bed in one of them. I self-censoring there. Nailed it. Yeah, like, if they really ruin one, then it might lose all the kind of momentum, because people are so invested in them that it's going to hit harder if they don't enjoy one. It's like with one of those Star Wars... It's like with those Star Wars prequels. Like, they had to leave a long time to come back to it, because people were so, like...
Yeah.
Emotionally destroyed by how bad the prequels were.
Even then, it wasn't actually that long, really.
Was it not?
There's
well, 3 was like 2004.
It was only
maybe.
10 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's quite a long time,
still a gap,
considering the
innit?
money that we're making.
It's still a good gap, but like I mean, Spider-Man was only Spider-Man was 5 years before they rebooted it, and then
Yeah.
it was 3 years.
It's a different time now as well, though, to be fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just no new ideas. No, it's not
Just-
bad.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Look
true.
at the
'cause
Oscars,
it,
to be
like,
fair.
they brought Blade Runner.
Black Baby? They bought-
Blade Runner they brought back.
That's true. I really need to watch that. We've been meaning to for ages, but not got around to it.
Especially that hey, nice little segue.
Cinematography.
Yeah, won
Nailed it.
best cinematography. Also, we did well. I can't remember.
We feel like we did all right.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our summary.
I feel like what we thought, or that we wanted to win, did all right. But what should have won? I know I did. I know I messed up because I was like, I reckon there's going to be a dark horse, and just none of that happened. So
Favourite after favourite.
yeah,
To be fair, we knew Sam Rockwell was going to get Best Supporting Actor.
yeah, and Frances McDormand for best actress.
I think
or
we get
Although
Shape
I
of
said
Water.
Sally for that.
your mate Sally.
My mate Sally, yeah. We knew Best Makeup and Hair would be Darkest Hour.
Yeah,
Best Costume Design, Phantom Thread, considering what it's about.
I think we said Shape of Water. Might have said Get Out for screenplay.
yeah.
So I think we hit a lot of
We
it.
should have really wrote it down.
Yeah, we should have.
we should have, shouldn't we?
It's fine.
Oh well, sorry. Anyway, any more film news?
I was just going to say regarding Spider-Man Homecoming 2, they're casting a James Bond-esque female accompanied with a few other females.
Oh,
Just to bump up the film a little bit, but it doesn't really say that much, so trying not to release too much about that or who's cast. So,
Fair enough.
yeah.
yes.
My one piece of film news is about, well, first off, it's about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He said that he doesn't know, basically, about whether he's going to be in it in the future, but he's very open to the idea. He's actually said that, in terms of movie acting, it's the most enjoyable character I've had the opportunity to play. So he's kind of, like, left the door open for him coming back. And then also, just along that same kind of line, the further details about Todd Phillips and Martin Scorsese's Joker origin movie have come forward.
Oh yeah.
So basically, they've said that they're going to depict the villain as a failed 80s stand-up comedian,
Oh,
Okay.
which is interesting for Martin Scorsese, because obviously he kind of did that with the King of Comedy and Robert De Niro. But it's an interesting direction to take it. They've got Joaquin Phoenix as the favourite to play him. DiCaprio's in there as well, especially with Scorsese. The one thing we all know is Jared Leto's not coming back, neither with the Harley Quinn film or anything like that. So unlucky for him, but good for the rest of the world.
yeah. I agree with that. You don't?
No.
No.
You thought it was all right?
Yeah.
I just, it was a bit uninteresting in him trying to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, it felt like he was trying to act that crazy rather than any kind of real, like, interesting level of crazy to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just didn't add anything to the character in terms of, he was like, all right, I'll play him as a big, dramatic,
See,
unpredictable
I agree
guy.
with that to a certain extent, but I think a lot of it was to do with like the studio interference.
Oh,
Like, 'cause
definitely,
if he
yeah.
got more time on the screen,
Yeah.
then definitely.
And
like,
if it was
would have
as
had
part
more
of such
an
a bad
impact.
film, It might have been.
Well, yeah, also that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrible film.
Yeah, you really liked it for some reason.
I didn't really like it.
You were buzzing in the cinema. You were like, yeah.
Have you watched
it
it again though?
No.
Because I've watched it like 4 or 5 times because my little brother's likes it, and just every time you watch it, a little like you just like wait, did you just do that? Like, how was that meant to make sense? And just like little things start to crop up and you off.
See, I would have thought the more you watch it, the more you appreciate it 'cause you pick up on little things.
Oh Christ, no, not with that film.
No.
Like it works as a surface viewing. Like if you're half paying attention, like you're on your phone, it's a film that's perfect for that. Like you miss 10 minutes, but all right, someone's smashing an alien head.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Whereas other films, it's like you have to be paying attention and you gain everything from repeat viewings.
Yeah.
I don't even think the people who made it would say it gains anything from repeat viewings.
Though they all have tattoos about it.
Oh, God, I don't even know. That felt like a super aggressive marketing campaign that like somehow like they psychologically sent the actors in that direction.
I wonder how much DC paid them to have those tattoos, because that couldn't have been a choice, surely.
I don't understand. I don't know. Or like they're all. I don't know. Maybe they're all so desperate for like true friends that they had this like experience on set where they all got along and decided to mark themselves permanently.
Speaking of tattoos, did you see Emma Watson's tattoo?
That
the
really.
Time's Up one without the apostrophe.
I feel like she's lost a load of her like kind of intellectual rights fighting like right crusader credibility by forgetting one apostrophe. Like everybody's suddenly like, oh no.
It wasn't a permanent.
No,
tattoo,
it was a
though,
temporary
so
tattoo. Yeah.
Even so.
For the like Oscars.
Like
and
the whole
stuff,
point
just
is
there.
that you're making a point, and then she didn't notice that.
It's not something you can like pass off onto anyone else as well because it's on your skin. So you really should have had a look at it and checked it made sense. Like you can't be like, oh well, the design team.
I wonder what this
Yeah.
is.
Like, did she not decide to have a look at it before she went out there? She could have just got a marker, Sharpie,
Yeah, literally.
done a little apostrophe. It's not like it's an unfixable problem.
Yeah. Although I think it was like cursive text, so it would have been noticeable.
But if anything, it brought more attention to the tattoo because
That's true, yeah.
So-
Do you think it was?
it worked.
She's a
Maybe it
genius.
worked,
Yeah.
She did it on purpose.
Intellectual rights back. There you go. You can have them. Shall we talk about I, Tonya now?
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't say at the start of the podcast we were talking about Tonya.
I did.
Did you?
It'll say in
Yeah.
the title. I don't
I'm
remember him
not-
saying it.
I don't.
I don't think he said it.
Um,
Rewind. Play the tape.
Yeah. So, anybody want to give a quick summary of this film before we go talking?
I
into
feel
it
like
a little
Dill
bit
knew more about it.
All right.
more? He just knew about the person.
Yeah, because I
But
vaguely
yeah,
knew about the
sorry,
person.
You can explain.
So the film's basically set on. There was a bunch of interviews done in the about 20 years in the future with this lady called I, Tonya. No, she was. Sorry, I already wasn't. I was thinking about something else there, and I was just
write
talking.
that down.
And she's called I,
Tonya.
comma Tonya. She's called Tonya Harding.
Look what I spelled it as.
Oh no, we're all not okay. It's early on a Sunday morning.
I know.
Tonya.
I, Tonya.
I, Tonya.
Good God.
Yeah, she's Tonya Harding. She was
So
a little
sorry.
bit. She was a very talented figure skater, but she was also kind of a bit white trashy, and well, definitely white trashy in a time where, it was a lot about the presentation and who you were and expensive dresses and stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously, she had kind of a abusive relationship with her mum to a degree, and it's about her kind of upbringing, trying to succeed in that world. And then there's also this really famous incident, which made her in real time at that point kind of one of the most famous people in the world, where her main rival, a skater called Nancy Kerrigan, who was ahead of her at that time, somebody smashed Nancy Kerrigan's knee just before the Olympics, and it turned out that obviously throughout the story you'll find out in a lot more detail, but it was linked towards Tonya. Huge media outcry. She became kind of a punchline in the time, and it's just about her kind of her life up to that point. And what's kind of interesting about the way the film's done is it's told through the perspective of these future interviews with her, the actual, her partner at the time,
Yeah.
her mum, her coach, a bunch of different people. And obviously all the stories kind of contradict to a degree because everybody's got their own interests at heart. And the film messes about with that by playing things out as it would have happened by one person's account and then obviously being contradicted by another person's account and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That
Yeah,
was
it's very
brilliant.
good.
That's the best description we've
I
ever
know.
had of the film, really. Yeah.
So did you like it?
I thought it was very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were points in it that I really liked. There were some points I didn't like. But overall, I thought it was quite a good Does this count as a biopic?
Yeah.
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 Like, just because of the way it was kind of filmed and stuff, there was some aspects where I was like, I'll go into them a little bit more. But yeah, did you like the film?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I know me and Soph both had... We had like a 20-minute, half an hour period towards the end where we both tapped out, and I just kept checking my watch. But do you know what? Like, we had that whole incident at the start of the film, didn't we? We managed to get into the film beyond that. Basically, there's a guy sat next to us. I'm going to give this context. This is actually part of my review of the film, so it's not just me telling this for no reason. There was a guy sat next to us who seemed to like alternate in breathing between, what's he called from Toy Story?
Wheezy.
Yeah.
Wheezy and like R2D2. So either you just hear like weird breath from him, or there'd be like weird kind of, not like a beeping, but like a kind of whistling thing as he breathed.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly frustrating and annoying, and we were all just like contemplating various forms of murder. But the film started, and I think he did stop doing the breathing things somehow at some point during the film. But also, like, I totally forgot about him and the whole breathing thing for the entire film, basically.
Yeah.
When I was leading up to it, I was like, oh, this guy's going to annoy, this guy's going to ruin the whole film. I'm going to walk out or, like, throw a stool at him. Like, this is really bad. But I did get past him, so it was engaging in that way. Like, I definitely got dragged into the film quite quickly.
Yeah, I did as well. I got dragged into it that much that there was a girl. There was, like, a space between us. So I had, like, an empty seat and then this girl.
Sounded so romantic.
Yeah.
So you were saying
Space
that.
between us. Sounds like a film.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, I didn't even notice she was on her phone for, like, half an hour of the film until Soph said to me, have you seen the girl on her phone? And then from that point, I could not not notice that she was on her
It was
phone.
because whenever the screen went dark, her phone lit up, and she didn't even bother putting her phone on silent. So every so often, like, you'd hear ding, ding, and then she'd just be writing paragraphs.
Oh, that,
and
yeah.
It's like,
At that point, it escalated to where she was, like, it wasn't even on vibrate or thing, it was just on loud, like, ding, like, halfway through the stuff. I'm just like, this fucking bitch.
but I don't know whether that's like, I wasn't too into the film where I could have blanked that out, because if you didn't hear the ding and you were only next to me, you were probably more invested at that time than I was.
And you had Wheezy next to you. So.
I think I was just, maybe I was so deliberately focused on just blocking out everyone else. I may have just invented something as you were saying that. What do you think to this idea? So on the underside of like the arms of a cinema chair, there's like a little button that you press that's like a reporting button. And if there's someone in the cinema doing something wrong, like we can say it's for people recording on their phone, because then that way people actually put the money to install these things. But in fact, they can just be for someone annoying you. You press the button and like a member of staff comes in and kicks them out.
Yeah, so it's like an airplane seat.
That's my
thing.
plan. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like an alert button.
But you also, especially in Stockport, with the amount of like kids or whatever, people could just press. You know, like when you're on a bus and someone keeps pressing the bell, just to be a.
Okay, yeah. So let's think of a way
someone
around
could
that.
be like
too much power, too much
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
For the average man, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Rather than having to get up and complain. There's been many times where I've wanted to get up and complain. When we watched, was it Age of Ultron in Liverpool?
I'm never
Scouse
watching
kids
films.
going on at that, and we were so close to like complaining. That was
Never watch films in Liverpool.
no.
Like even you experienced when we went to go see Star Wars. Remember all the kids behind us with all the popcorn, not even giving any sort of regard for anyone else. It's just sorry, Scousers, but I've never really had a good time watching a film in Liverpool.
No.
Could have taken out the middle of that sentence. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's like the one place I can think of right now in society, like, I suppose public transport as well, but like you just see people with absolutely no regard for anybody else's enjoyment or well-being, just happily being complete, like doing their own thing at the cost of everybody else's enjoyment around them.
Yeah.
And also, like, we're all so meek that we paid our money to go watch this film, but we'll never ever say anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I think there was a point though.
I nearly was like, if there wasn't for a point in that film where it went really loud and there was like a montage bit and like loud music and stuff,
Yeah.
I would have said something.
Because I think
It was
in her
constant at that point.
I was getting
Yeah.
close with Wheezy, but
It's,
I don't know
think-
how do you say that to
Excuse
someone.
me, mate.
Breathe
Can
better.
you just not breathe? Thank you.
But like it was a very like quiet showing, wasn't it? There wasn't that many people in Tonya, so she was probably like, "Oh, I'm not bothering too many people." But in that case, you can sit at the back.
Yeah,
if
and
you
people
can
might have
go anywhere.
deliberately come at this time because they didn't want other people there to ruin the film for
Yeah.
themselves, and then you just even more getting in the way of people that
Yeah.
way.
I just don't understand the mentality. It's like,
that's what I mean.
It's 2 hours of your life. Why do you have to be on your phone? Like, can you not be on your phone for like 2 hours? It's ridiculous. But
she stopped after like an hour.
Yeah, but
by
still.
that point, I thought the film got less interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that means she stopped because she ran out of people to text, not because she actually wanted to stop for other people.
Yeah.
So it's still, I don't give her any credit for that. Yeah.
Shall we talk about I Tonya?
Yeah, maybe I was gonna say she talked about the film. I was immediately just plotting various ways to murder people who did this kind of thing. Just like trapdoors below every seat, and like there's a guy in the projector room just looking out, and if you see anyone, you're just like, Duke.
So like you say with the story, I'm going to bring it back to the story.
Go for it.
There was various points in the film where it was it was narrated and kind of brought together by different interviews done by different people, and you saw the events happen.
Yeah.
Did you like that aspect of the film?
I mostly did.
Yeah, there was parts where I kind of like where it stops and then it goes back to the interview, and she's like, you know, that didn't happen, and they are very contradictory. But when it broke fourth wall,
yeah,
I just, no, none of that. When she had the shotgun and she's like, this didn't happen. Or when she was training and a trainer was like, this happened too. This really happened. I was just like, oh, God. It just made more of a... I know it was kind of supposed to be funny in certain ways, especially with the mum, the way that she was. Well, in certain parts, not when she was beating the out of the daughter.
Yeah.
But just that entire thing brought me out of it. Just seemed more of a, like, not mocking, but do you know what I mean? Taking the a little bit.
I remember having a similar thing with The Big Short as well, because, well, the first film that kind of brought this back in recent times was The Silence of the Lambs, where Jonathan Demme did it, where the camera would the actor would be looking directly into the camera because you're taking the point of view of a character, just to make you understand that better. And like in this one, obviously, I don't think it's you taking the point of view of a character. It's like the documentary is aimed at you and you're actually participating.
Yeah.
But I did just think I think it's something that's best done underused, so I thought it was too much of The Big Short, even though that was really acclaimed.
Yeah.
It did just take me out of it. And in this, there was just... I remember this one with Sebastian Stan on the sofa, where it wrapped around him and he was following the camera with his eyes in the middle of the scene, and I was just like...
Yeah.
It just felt a bit inconsistent, that sometimes the camera's going to be them in the middle of the scene, sometimes it cuts to the actual present interview.
Yeah.
And it was hard to... I don't know, I think I prefer techniques like that used a lot less for real impact rather than just permeating it that much.
Yeah, I feel like... Because I quite liked it to an extent, because I thought it kind of knew what it was. So it's like, this is that kind of film. But the more you guys are talking about it, the more I'm kind of agreeing with you in the fact of, if it's going to be this out-and-out drama, make it this drama instead of like all these added little nuances in. I thought it was quite refreshing in a sense.
For me, I am kind of picking issues a little bit. Like it didn't bother me that much watching it. It's just out afterwards. I thought it would have had more impact for me if it had been used a little rarer and like for more specific moments rather than sometimes it was used for like kind of half a joke or just to kind of mess with the timelines a bit or to show off a camera thing that they could do, like where they had kind of a little messing with time technique thing they did with the camera, and it was just like maybe this would have, even though these things are cool to see, maybe as a kind of actual way of telling the story, it would have had a bit more kind of impression if it had been used a little bit less.
What did you think of, because I know your opinion on this, but the filming, the way it was shot, because for me I thought it was quite interesting, specifically when it comes to the skating scenes.
Yeah.
Obviously, unless it is, and she's very good if it is, but most of that was not Margot Robbie, I do not think. So the way that it was kind of done close up and the way that it followed her and stuff, I thought that was really interesting to watch. Because you don't really get those kind of angles in any sort of sport, obviously, because they're on the ice. So I thought it was
that kind of motion, like kind of gliding motion, and there's a lot of different angles you see taken as well. I read something saying, do you know the triple axel, that kind of big move that she does, that kind of very kind of brave. They couldn't actually get anybody else to do that because only 6 female skaters since have ever actually been able to do it.
Oh, really?
And they were all either kind of training for actual events or like retired, I guess. But that was all done CGI just because there actually isn't any human being they could get to physically do it. So there is a lot of kind of effects in the skating.
I mean,
but I thought it was relatively, it was pretty seamless. I mean, like, other than some of the spins and stuff.
Yeah, I think everyone sort of questioned it just because we didn't know whether she had experience in skating, but everything was so like captivating to watch until you sort of see her face when it was spinning, or if it went a bit too fast. But then right at the end of the film, we see sort of clips of her doing it, and you see how fast it is. So you're like, oh, well, maybe.
I was going to say, like, I think if people had not seen figure skating before, they could be like, well, this is like fictionalized. This is no one can do stuff like this. But then if you have seen some of the kind of best real stuff, like some of the motion and the contortion, like it is insanely impressively quick.
Yeah. So
No,
go.
I read that Tonya Harding served as a consultant on the film.
I thought you were going to talk more about the shots because I didn't really hear your opinion about it.
Fine.
No,
Put this out and you can talk.
No, go on.
And she said she particularly liked the part when Margot Robbie went up and told him to suck her dick.
Oh,
her
yeah.
dick.
Yep.
Yeah.
A version of a dick. And she said she wished she said that in real life.
Oh, yeah.
So you can tell that they sort of portrayed her attitude and just sort of...
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's pretty cool.
Took a bit of leeway with it.
That's a nice segue into acting. What did you think of the performances of the characters?
Really good.
Yeah, that was one of the stronger part of it. Sebastian Stan, I thought was great. The mum was great.
I kept on forgetting it was him.
Yeah.
Like, normally you can pick out, obviously, Margot Robbie, you can tell it's her, but I kept on losing myself with him a little bit.
You think it was a mustache?
No. Just, even
his
his
mannerism,
face
and the like, the kind of... he did a really good job of showing, like, the kind of, you know, the guy who's never found his place in the world and is a bit kind of weak and not really popular or anything.
Yeah.
But then, like, immediately going from a sweet dude for the first time he met a girl to just an aggressive psycho.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, that was believably done for him, and it's not easy to go from those two people. Like, the really inexperienced, like, he didn't know how to kiss or anything when he was, like, 15 when they first met. And then, like, the next scene, he's, like, slapping her in a car, and it's just believable. Like, I think that a lot of that's through his performance.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just want to highlight one thing, because you just brought it up then. One of the only things that I didn't like about this film was the ages of them, because for me it just wasn't... I couldn't buy into it, so I was taken out of the film. So at one point you see Sebastian Stan and Margot Robbie without any sort of like makeup to make them like, you know, look younger or anything like that.
She's got braces.
Even that, even apart from the style, and you're supposed to believe that they're 15 years old. And I was like, whoa, no.
Yeah, it was strange.
Even then, at one point, and I didn't think she was this young actually, but Margot Robbie is 27 years old. And she'd like at the end of it, she's supposed to be playing at max a 23-year-old girl, and I still couldn't buy it. So I don't know whether it's just me seeing her
me
like being older
at each
or...
other, didn't we? We were like 23. We just looked back at the screen.
Yeah,
like, no,
I
what?
didn't. It surprised me because it felt like she'd been going for a long time. They were talking to her like a has-been, and it's like, how can you be a has-been at 20? All right, but I suppose it's figure skating.
Yeah.
See, I do think maybe if there would have been a bit more extended scenes with them younger, the acting would have been able to show it a bit better. Because I don't know if like Margot Robbie was doing a thing like a chewing thing with her mouth, like a kind of...
Yeah.
Like, there was differences in the performances between the ages that you could see, but they weren't shown for very long, so you didn't really get a chance to kind of settle into them.
Yeah.
And they didn't really give you like, you know, it's kind of a cheat. But films when they're doing that stuff with different ages, they have to kind of, whether it's with the costume or the like, just haircuts and facial hair and stuff, they have to give you a quick shortcut as a viewer to know which age range you're looking at. And it just wasn't there strong enough for me. Like Margot Robbie had braces, you could jump on that. But other than that, like it was a little difficult to tell which age.
Yeah.
The clothing changed a bit, but you know, she never had like a fashionable stage and like a tracksuit stage. It was always just like training gear.
Yeah.
So she had the fur coat stage.
Oh god, oh yeah.
That
like,
was.
I thought that was really sweet.
the sewn together
She made
squirrels.
her own. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
She was
it
just
wasn't
the way
that
she
bad, you
put
know.
a
It's better than I
finger
did.
up.
Yeah,
Like,
What mini thingy?
yeah,
yeah.
She was cute.
she was cute.
Yeah, she's in a lot. That kid.
For sure.
She was in Mad Men, I think, and she's doing well for herself.
Tell you something that I didn't think. Obviously, the mum is supposed to be this horrible, even though she's like building her up, she has to put all the money in. But the way that she treats her, at one point throws a knife at her.
Yeah,
I can't help but like her.
the mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the mum a bit as well. Yeah.
So-
She played that part brilliantly.
Yeah.
Especially, it's funny. You know, the actual interviews were played during the credit scene.
yeah.
and seeing how much they actually look like the people is quite astounding.
Same with The Bodyguard, though.
Yeah, The Bodyguard.
Made me
I saw The Bodyguard in like a fairly small TV show called Kingdom, and he's really good in that. And it's just like I'd never expected to see that dude in that little show in like a massive Hollywood thing. But he's a funny dude, and it's like it's weird because in the way he looks, he's obviously only going to get certain kind of parts.
Yeah.
But right now he's number one in the world for those parts, and that could be the next 15 years because it is a very specific kind of character he can play. So it's funny to see people who pick out niches like that.
It's funny seeing him, like I'm an expert in counter-terrorist.
Oh yeah,
so that made me laugh. And then the actual guy was the.
It was like verbatim, wasn't it? That was cool. I'm really glad they showed that bit because I think people don't realize how nuts that guy actually was, and they would have been like, "Oh, they're playing this up for the film."
Yeah.
But no, he did not have his head screwed on straight.
No.
See, that's why I laughed at him in the film, but I did think that they proper built him up. So when I saw that clip, I was like, Jesus, someone actually believes that they're like.
Yeah,
ahead of all
kind of caused all that as well.
Yeah.
Not to give it away.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the actual incident did happen.
No, yeah, it definitely happened. People could Google right now
Yeah.
and see that it did happen, yeah. Do you know, they were trying to track down the mum for the film and they couldn't find her. They were really trying to find her to get, like, do more interviews and stuff, and they couldn't find her. It turns out, I'm sure they found her living above, like, afterwards she came out, like, Vanity Fair were trying to find them for interviews as well, and she was, like, living above, like, a pawn shop in, like, Washington or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's either behind or above. It was around her.
Yeah.
But they couldn't track down the mum. Like, that just, again, that impresses in my head, like, it's real people, isn't it? Like, this isn't, like, a kind of crafted film thing.
And she looked really like her as well.
Yeah. Even I like the detail of just, the bird.
Yeah.
Like, biting at her ear and stuff. I don't know why I found that so funny during the interviews, but...
Did she win Best
Yeah.
Supporting Actress?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, yeah, she did, yeah.
Yeah. I understand why now, though.
Oh, yeah, no,
Really.
it's very good. I'm glad she got that.
Although I'm yet to see the mum and Ladybird and see that relationship, because I still feel like that could...
I think I'll be more into the mum and Ladybird, because I'm more into you, like... I don't mean that. All right, here we go.
Hashtag dirty deals.
Now I can't make a decent point, because... All right.
Sorry, go on.
All right. No, I'm going to take this maturely. Okay. Just because I think, like... All right, I can't do it. No, I like more kind of, like, in, like... complicated character performances, and I think the mum in Ladybird will be more like that rather than just kind of like an out and out kind of nutty character with some humanity, but like Alison Janney basically just kind of got to go nuts in that performance, which is fun to see, but sometimes to me not as impressive as like you're really in detailed real person being set up.
Yeah, because in the trailer of Ladybird you can see that they really argue at times, and then she misses her, and they do have that connection over like the dress in the shop and stuff like that.
I like that moment. Yeah, we're all looking forward to that film too.
Yeah. There's just one bit I want to bring up. I don't want to like spoil it, so I'm going to phrase it in a different way, so I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, there's one point with her character, Alison Janney's character, the mum, after all, everything they go through and stuff seems to be really supportive of her, and then it turns to be a completely like flipped around situation.
I wasn't surprised by that.
Oh, I
in no way.
Not that I was...
Did you see it coming?
Yeah.
The actual...
100%.
See, I did about halfway, but I did genuinely believe it for the first kind of like...
I think I did up for like most of it.
Yeah.
But then I'm quite glad in a sense, which sounds horrible, but I'm quite glad in a sense to see someone so true to a character if that actually did happen or not.
It's real life as well, and a lot of people don't have massive change of hearts that way in real life. They still just trying to survive the way they know how and the way they would like learn how to as a kid, the way they had to. So I do kind of appreciate that they did have this kind of romantic, everything comes together ending where like her and her mum are living together in a mansion with like horses and all that kind of stuff. But you can't really do that with a true story, can you?
No.
So there you go.
Just quickly before we move on, because we're talking about Ladybird, what did you think of the mother-daughter relationship in that?
In
this one?
In
I
See, I thought it was good, because again, I can't remember what other film we kind of talked about it's about, but it's the weird thing even with abusive family relationships, technically, there still can be, she goes to her mum, she goes to hug her mum, like, when they have that moment where, like, she believes her mum has changed at that point. You want to believe the best about your parents, and even though they can be bad even though she's been awful to her at times, she's still a mum, and they still have kind of a bond that way. So I thought they did a good job of showing that, like, even with this terrible stuff happening, she's still looking for that relationship with her mum, and she still kind of like needs her in a way.
Yeah, because you could see it. There was a scene when she was doing the triple.
Yep, Axel.
That's the one. And she's working in the cafe, and her boss is like, "Can you do this?" And she's like, "No, I want to see her face when she finishes." And I didn't know whether it was like, I want to see whether she embarrasses herself, or I want to see if she smiles, or I want to see if she does it.
Yeah.
But it does seem like she cared enough to stay there and watch it to the end.
Yeah, because it wasn't even, like, you didn't see her crack a smile either, so you don't know what she's thinking either,
exactly.
which I thought was quite interesting.
There's also the scene where a guy basically becomes very, like, shouts a load of abuse at Tonya just before she's about to get on the ice. And it's kind of a funny scene, but it's it really puts you in that feeling as a performer, like imagining somebody there doing that for you if you're a sportsman or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's very real. Like, it's literally a person screaming at you from 8 feet away. But then it goes back and it shows that the mum's paid this guy to do it. And again, that just to me shows that she does, and from some of her speeches and stuff, she knows her daughter really well, and she knows how to make her succeed. And in her head, even though it's not, she's not dealing with her well, everything she's doing is part of setting her up to succeed in her own life and be the best at something.
Yeah, because she says that she performs better when she's angry.
Yeah.
So.
And she's putting her money where her mouth is. Like, she's always throughout Tonya's life, she put her money where her mouth is, even if she was, like, not the best to her for a lot of it.
Yeah, no, okay. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because I know we might be contrasting that.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, on Mother's Day. That's what we're speaking about. Lovely. Just quickly, I want to go into some more of the technical aspects of the film. Cinematography. I know we talked a little bit about the shots with the like the skating and stuff, but everything else seemed all right. Like the way that it was kind of close up, the way it was shot with like the mockumentary sort of, you know, where they kind of address the camera, stuff like that. All good? Yeah, good, bad? Or
just only sometimes when the camera just sort of followed them through. I don't like shots like that unless it's in a horror film. Because then it feels like you're following them as a predator or you're being followed. Whereas in shots like that, it just seemed a bit all over the place. But
that's interesting. No, yeah, I mean, like, I think they tried to, there was a couple of interesting things they did with playing with time in the cinematography. Like, there was a thing in the house with Sebastian Stan, where it went through the house and kind of, like, showed him at different points of, like, grief or anger or whatever he was feeling at that time.
Yeah, that was
an interesting way of, like, having time pass through the shot and also give you an idea of what the guy's going through.
That shot pulled me out of it a bit because after it went into each room, I pictured him like running and sitting down. Like, I know that's not how it's done, but as soon as he was sat on the floor and it went through the door, I was like, I imagined him just pegging it and just like sitting somewhere else. So
the only thing I was going to add to that is that even though I thought that was good, I thought the shot in itself lasted too long.
Yeah.
Because it kind of went down the road after that, and you're like, well, where's this going?
And I was like, why are you following it down the road? Is a car going to come? Like,
and then it just went to nothing.
It just stopped, It did feel a bit much that.
Yeah, apart from that, and like I've really applauded the shots on the ice. I know you didn't like them particularly that much, Soph, but I thought they were good.
I liked the action. I think they were good.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on. I've only got like little bits like editing, music, sound, stuff like that. Because usually music, we say is good if you don't notice it. But there was a song in this that I really enjoyed, like the way that it was kind of showing what mindset she was in as well, and I can't remember how it goes. I'm pretty sure it might be in the new Thor film. I can't remember. It was like a guitar.
Do you remember when it was happening? Was it when the time when he was beating her up around the house?
No, I think it was like before one of her performances, I think, and like she was one of the most famous people in the world at that point. And I'm gonna try and give it a go. So I do apologize.
Oh, you're gonna sing?
Listeners. No, I'm not gonna sing it. I'm gonna do the guitar thing.
Okay.
And it's like like I don't know if anyone can get anything.
I'm really bad at this game.
That one.
I feel I know which one you're on about, but I could not tell you. It was good though. I enjoyed that.
No, there you go. Some people know. Whatever.
Also, I swear there was a song in there that was specifically called something splitting apart or like moving apart or something to do with mother and daughter. I think there was some elements of that within the song choices themselves, which I'm just going to quickly try and find if there is anything like that.
Because
I would like to know.
Yeah.
Well, but there was a specific point in the film where it was kind of to do with the situation that was happening, and it played really well into the situation. Wait, what? Sorry, you're trying to show me something?
I was trying to show you something because I remember 3 things in the film, and it was the Spirit in the Sky. I remember that playing.
Is it Devil Woman you're talking about? Cliff Richard?
Yeah. Well, there was, so.
The Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah, that's always in every goddamn film.
Yeah, and Eminem, Lose Yourself.
Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits was in there. That might be the one you're talking about. Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits.
Oh, yeah.
That's more of a romantic one. Love Story.
Oh, well.
That one. Dream Little Dream of Me's in there. Don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, because
Feels like the first time. There are some good 80s songs on there.
Gone Daddy Gone as well. That was in there, so I know when that bit was supposed to be in.
There's a Supertramp song.
I'm sure this is so interesting for everyone.
No,
but this isn't going to go in, right?
I'm pretty sure, there's a specific song called The Incident as well.
The Chain. The Fleetwood Mac song was great.
Yes, that's what it is. Sorry.
Yes, that's a great song. The Passenger Baggy Pop's in there as well. There's some good songs in there, you know.
Yeah.
It does work.
And I'm glad I brought that up because I really liked the score in that. What else? Editing, pretty straightforward, to be honest.
Yeah.
And any other sort of sounds, stuff like that, anything stick out to you or not?
No, I mean, I do want to bring up as a final sort of cap off, there was a scene that was in the trailer and you said you thought it was a bit underwhelming because you thought it'd go on for longer.
Oh, yeah.
When she was looking in the mirror, and I really enjoyed that scene because obviously she had the lipstick on her teeth and she was still forcing that smile, and you feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
And you have so many emotions for her, and you just hope she does well.
I think with me, it got to the point, I was towards the end, I was like, hey, I randomly remembered that scene, and I was like, well, when's that going to happen? And then I was as I was kind of waiting for it, I was a bit like, okay, so, and I think reading some stuff, hearing about it beforehand, people talk about that scene, changing the film for him, and, being the absolute peak of her performance, and I was, expecting something a little kind of, I don't know, kind of different to it more as well, not just because it's basically just what you see in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I thought there'd be another direction it went in or something like that. But no, it was really well acted all around.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really glad she got an nomination at least. Anyway.
But yeah, I like Margot Robbie.
The one scene I think I liked more than that one, or at least as much, was the bit where she was in court.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, with the judge.
Yeah.
She starts pleading with the judge effectively.
Yeah, and for me, I thought that was a better scene in terms of showing the character and Margot Robbie performing.
Dialogue was good as well, the way just kind of stilted, and you can understand that it seems very, again, she's not planned any of this. This is just her in the moment, genuine feelings coming out. So yeah, I really liked that scene as well.
Yeah, because could you imagine working on something your entire life?
Although I did just go straight to work, and I was like, this isn't accomplishing anything right now. I'd just be shepherding her out of the room if she was my client. You're not doing anything right now. Let's get out here. Sod your emotional moment. This decision's been made. But no, yeah, that was a really good scene.
So is it
because it did make you feel brutal, didn't it? The actual punishment.
See, I didn't know what to believe in that though, because I know it said it's contradictory, and I didn't know whether it was still sort of...
No, because that was the official judgment, that she was banned from skating.
But was she confirmed to have a part in it, though?
Well, I don't know. Well, because they implicated her, didn't they?
Yeah.
The husband and ex. So I think because maybe it came out that she had a part in some form of conspiracy against her, even if she didn't know about the actual leg breaking. Then
just a bit much.
Yeah,
it
does show her actually going
along
along with it to a certain extent, even though she doesn't know what more there is to it, because she was part of the what was supposed to be the letters being sent. So that's still some form of conspiracy, because
plus,
that would have.
Yeah.
It's part of a they'd been trying to get rid of her for 20 years.
Yeah.
Or not 20 years, but 10. She was only 23. But they never really
accepted.
They never really accepted her. That's true. Yeah. It was a genuine thing where she just didn't fit in that community. They did play up the kind of redneck aspect of her in the film, but she didn't fit in with what was a very traditional kind of traditionally entered sport back then. So it was, you can get a certain aspect of they were looking for it and they got their opportunity. And it is insane to me just to see, because it must happen with a lot of Olympians. You just won a medal just to perform an Olympic, then you go home and she's working as a waitress. There isn't that much money going around with these Olympic athletic events, and the committees have to focus on the big name things like your track and field and stuff like that. So there must be how many? I don't know. We might have been surveyed by Olympians in our time, like working in, and then as well the focus you need to get that level in a sport. You can't really be doing your education and stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a strange one to think about. I wonder how many like incredibly proficient athletes are out here just doing unskilled work for your average people.
Yeah. Your average people.
Yeah, your average boring.
So just last points, I guess, before we go into the 5-star movie review. Anything particularly stand out to you? Anything you want to praise about it, or completely tear it down?
No, I like Sebastian Stan. I would have maybe liked a bit more kind of sticking with them in the character and like in the transitionary stages rather than kind of just showing them at each extreme.
Yeah.
But no, I really did like it. Maybe about 20 minutes shorter, I think. 25 minutes shorter, just to crop out a bit in the middle, and it could really keep you engaged the whole time. But we'll get into that in the review.
Yeah. Self?
Yeah, I completely agree.
The only thing I'm going to say, I think I've said everything, but Bobby Cannavale's character, where was he apart from the little mini interviews?
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, he was a with, or like, it was like a special credit. He was like with Bobby Cannavale or whatever his name is.
Okay.
So yeah, he was a fun character though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he definitely could have done a lot more. I think maybe in other cuts there was more done with that magazine, because it seems like the magazine did have quite a major part in the whole thing. Like the fact that the ex-husband did interviews with them after everything like that, and they were part of her getting caught. But obviously it's a matter of time, isn't it? So clearly they couldn't really push as much of the investigative work going into it with what they wanted in the final cut.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Shall we go into the 5-star movie review?
I don't have high hopes first, but we can do.
Okay, so this is...
Jingle.
a
I can't remember any of the jingles.
A jingle. This is the 5-star movie review where we put films through the ultimate test. There are 5 questions. For every question we vote yes, that film gets 1 star. The ultimate goal, 5 stars. There are 3 of us. There are 3 of us, so the majority vote wins, though half stars are up for contention when necessary.
Nice.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Never been more ready.
Okay, so does the story make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Happened in real life, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, it just it follows her from a kid, doesn't it? To
Yeah.
the incident and a bit around the incident.
yeah, pretty much. Did the film have a good ending? Which kind of ended with her talking about her future after that. She was a boxer for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think it was the only way they could have kind of had a nice ending to it. It's like, yeah, things happen, but you kind of move on and you do this and blah, blah, blah.
And it still
this
makes
is
it
the
seem like
situation.
she's making decisions rather than, or like, it seems like she's still got the kind of upper hand in the way things are going
Yeah.
in her life.
Yeah.
No, I think the ending was alright, yeah. And I think we all really enjoyed they had a bit of, a few lines of sentence to bring you up to speed, which
Yeah.
a few lines of sentence,
Oh, yeah.
by the
A
way.
few lines of sentence.
It's really, I'm not a modern
Not any,
person.
just a few
And then the
lines.
footage was really helpful for us as well, I think,
Yeah.
as well, and for most
Oh,
people,
yeah.
just to kind of put the film into the real life context it would have been in.
Yeah, because no one left. Everyone made sure
that's
to kind
very
of watch
true,
that.
actually, yeah.
So it kind of helps round everything off as well. Yeah, she's fine.
Few lines of sentence.
Shut up.
Okay, so were they believable characters?
Yes.
Obviously, I know they were real characters anyway, but the way they were portrayed, I think we're all agreeing.
Yeah,
They were
100%.
amazingly done.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Wait, did this get Best Picture nomination? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I don't think.
I don't think it will
think
have.
it
No,
did.
I
no.
think it was just
No, I'm.
Margot Robbie as a.
Yeah.
Actor,
Okay.
yeah.
And Alison Janney, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't think it was Best Picture, but very good character piece.
Yeah.
And nicely done.
Yeah.
Differently, at least. Anyway.
Interesting.
So 3 stars so far. Did the film achieve digestive absorption?
No, it
Not all
lost
the way
us
through.
for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get outvoted here. So yeah, I was gonna say yes, but you guys feel it dragged on
About
a little bit.
2/3 of the way through, it lost us
Mhm.
both for a little bit, just in terms of,
Such a shame, though.
yeah,
Mm.
because we were very invested in it beforehand and from the
Yeah.
start, but then it just became a bit, I don't know whether the pacing was a bit off or it was a bit, where you taking us with this, but it definitely lost our attention a little bit.
Okay, fair enough. So no star for that.
No.
And did the movie change you? I'm guessing we're all
No.
going to say no.
No.
Not really.
Actually, guys, I've decided I'm going to be a figure skater.
I would love that.
Oh, suck my
Yeah. Just to be able to use that line.
Yeah.
After I get like a 2. Just like slowly get onto the ice.
Okay, fair enough. So, 3-star, that's not bad on our list, really.
I think that's pretty fair. I
Yeah.
think the best part of it was probably the acting. I like the idea of kind of doing an interesting film with it, but and the way they represented it, but didn't quite nail it throughout the way for me.
Yeah, I feel like if... I don't know, because you kind of have to break the fourth wall with the interview style anyway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what
Just-
makes the film
Just being a
as
bit
it
more
is.
selective about it.
So maybe
Yeah.
it's just that style of film that doesn't get that sort of vote. I don't know. There's something to kind of find out in the future anyway, because if something else happens like that and we feel the same way.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I think it can be really, if you think about the Silence of the Lambs, a lot of why Hannibal is so scary in that is because of the stuff it's done with the camera placement and looking directly at the camera and the
Yeah.
movement of it. But that was obviously used only in kind of very small chunks. So maybe it's just something that, as a technique, at this point still is best used
Yeah.
sparingly.
Fair enough. All right. Is that everything we want to say about the film?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think to recap just what's going to be coming up, there are many films in the cinema that we want to watch. So there
Yes.
could be a time where we talk about one film mainly, but we could do a brief review of things that come out.
Yeah, there might be some more stuff going up soon
Yeah.
with our quick reviews and stuff, so we'll try that. Also, we are bringing the trailer reviews, or at least advert reviews in, which
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to ripping the out of some
I
stuff.
mean, there's one that you're probably going to go into a lot more.
Yeah,
advert-wise.
this might. These podcasts are quite long. I think they're gonna get very
Yeah.
like if we're allowed to just rant about adverts, then
3
maybe
hours.
this may be like we may need a meal in the middle
Yeah.
at the rate that we can we can whinge about these adverts.
No, is there anything else now?
No, not that I can
we
think
can
of.
sign off.
Yes.
Yeah? Everyone good?
Yep.
All right. So thank you very much for listening. If you like this, then please check out previous episodes of Tripod Talk, and please subscribe on whatever platform you are on to keep up to date with us. I've been Matt Lidster. You've been,
Sophie Ellis.
and you have been,
Adil Anwar.
and that has been Tripod Talk. We shall see you in the next episode.
Night.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye bye.